Welcome to the Campfire. This week we're taking a deep dive into 18 6A and talk Houston ISD. The teams in this district are Bel Air, Chavez, Heights, Lamar, Sam Houston, Westside, and Wisdom. Now let's analyze this district in our Randall's film session. In 18 6A, it's been Lamar's domain for quite some time, especially in 2023, when this program went undefeated in the regular season, 12-0 before losing to regional finalist Atascocita in the postseason. The Texans do say goodbye to a group of superior athletes in Tristan Brown, Jordan Reeves, and Justin Howard. But the cupboard is not bare. Enrico Moore Espinoza returns as Lamar's big playmaker, and the Texans still have one of the best linemen in the state in Dramad Odoms. Heights will challenge Lamar for the district title behind Jordan Clavel, who was first-team All-District a year ago on the defensive line. Wisdom moves up from 5A to join this district, where it had a breakout season. The Generals starting 7-1 before just missing out on the playoffs due to a tiebreaker. Chavez returns the deadly pass duo of Chris Cabrero to Jonte Thomas in hopes they will produce some more wins this season. Bel Air will look for even more growth from Will Hazen behind center and a solid special teams to make a postseason berth. Westside has a hard hitter in the secondary with Justin Nwoko at safety, while Sam Houston's Trevon Williams was a first-team All-District selection at quarterback.
The film session is brought to you by Randall's. Find these great items on the Chevrolet Inside High School Sports End Cap and take your shopping game to the next level. Chevrolet Inside High School Sports is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.
For an even closer look into 18 6A, here's producer Ward Fasold and the Houston Chronicle's John Poorman with another district breakdown.
All right, we are talking 18 6A, the Houston ISD district. I got my man John Poorman from the Houston Chronicle. Every time we talk 18 6A, we start and usually finish with Lamar. But last year, a lot of stellar athletes on that team that just could. It's one of those deals, get them the ball and watch them take off. But a lot of them have graduated. And this year we're going to be talking about 6'6", 285-pound beast on the offensive line in Dramad Odoms. Talk about how his presence alone will give whoever the new quarterback is time to do his thing.
Yeah, Dramad Odoms is just, the anchor for this offensive line. I mean, what a talented player. He's one of the top offensive tackle recruits in the country. Obviously, big, strong, physical kid at the point of attack. I mean, just everything you could ask for in a dominant offensive tackle. So that right there, obviously, the offensive tackle spot is one of the most important positions on the field. And, they've got, probably the best in the city when it comes to that. But I mean, Lamar overall, year after year, we see what they do. The success that they've had is really quite extraordinary. You're looking back over the past 2-3 decades even, and last year was a perfect example of that. They finished 12-1 overall. They had the perfect regular season, which was a great achievement under Coach Michael Lindsay there. And then there's certainly no shame in losing to Atascocita in the third round of the playoffs.
Thanks for joining us, John, and have a good week.
All right, thank you.
And we'll post that entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. And now, we're taking a look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise, presented by Parker University. The best player in this district, hands down, is Lamar's offensive tackle, Dramad Odoms. At 6'6", 270 pounds, Odoms is a mammoth human being, but he's also long, lean, and physical, which makes him a natural at left tackle. Dramad has more than 30 college offers and has officially visited Mississippi State, Purdue, and SMU. One of the district's up-and-coming receivers is Enrico Moore Espinoza of Lamar. As a sophomore playing behind some talented seniors, he averaged more than 20 yards a catch and really shined in the Texans' playoff win over Ridge Point. Look for even more production from this first-team all-district selection as a junior. Jonte Thomas of Chavez really shined as a receiver for the Lobos. Despite his team going winless on the season, Thomas caught 52 balls for 801 yards and 6 scores. Jonte was a first-team all-district selection, and with his quarterback returning as well, look for him to add even more production in the slot. A big hitting safety in this district is Zaylen Cormier of Houston Heights. Cormier was not thrown at often, but still made 2 INTs as well as 27 tackles a year ago. He also plays receiver for the Bulldogs, where he's known for some ridiculous catches in traffic. He caught 34 balls for 763 yards and 12 touchdowns a year ago. He'll be heading to the University of Houston for his college football.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
And now, Ward Fasold is with Lamar head coach Michael Lindsay to talk about his Texans in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We are talking 18-6A with Lamar head coach Michael Lindsay. Coach, before we get into this year, which is still, 3 months away. So you know how we jump on these things early. I wanted to talk a little bit about last year because Lamar's had some special years, obviously, in the past. But last year felt pretty good over the last couple of years. Not only was it an undefeated regular season, but the amount of athletes that you had making special plays on both sides of the ball. And in my mind, the one that sticks out is the Ridge Point game where you really – maybe weren't clicking, but you jumped on all the turnovers that you possibly could get and turned that into a victory. Talk about how proud you were of that team last year and how far they went.
Yeah, it was an incredible senior class. We had coached those kids, from 9th grade on, so we had them for 4 years, and it was just an awesome culture. And we really knew going into the year it was going to be special, and so it didn't surprise us when we had some early success and had some big wins. We had high hopes, and we were disappointed we didn't go farther. We certainly had a big matchup against Atascocita that didn't go our way, but it was a really fun team to coach, and the leaders on that team were tremendous. We had a lot of kids leave Lamar with opportunities in college. I think we had 20 kids signed from that group, and just a tremendous group of leaders, and one of my favorite years I've ever had coaching. So,
all right, Coach, I appreciate you joining me, man, and we will catch up later on this year.
All right, thanks, Ward.
And that entire interview, you can catch it Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we're heading to Katy ISD to analyze 19-6A. Until then, have a great week, everybody.